personally, I'll be honest. I told our owners when they called, I said, I think I don't understand why you're doing this, and they said, one of the things they said was, well, it doesn't matter. We've done it now, and we want you. And so that was a tough one. That's where you had the hesitation.
Welcome back to NBA Cinema. So we had JJ Redick call out Doc Rivers, a former player for the Clippers. JJ Redick call out Doc Rivers, might I add. And I knew it was just a matter of time before on NBA Today, Austin Rivers said something. Because I thought to myself, these are Duke brothers. Not like they played together, but they in the Duke brotherhood. And, I was like, man, this is going to be something because that's his pops. And, Austin already was kind of sensitive towards Kendrick Perkins just a few weeks ago when discussing the Milwaukee Bucks and leadership and different things like that. Well, he clapped back at JJ today. He did it in a tasteful way and said that's his Duke brother, but he also threw little subliminal jabs in there and, was saying that they had to sit him for defensive reasons late in the game and different things like that. He was saying we, as a matter of fact, he was one of the top guys on the team at the time. We're going to take a listen to what both guys had to say, and I'm going to be back and I'm going to tell you what I think about this. Let's peep it.
Conference. Side note real quick, no one's going to react to Doc's audio there. We've been here 7 minutes since we showed that audio. Nobody's going to react to Doc's audio?
Do you want me to get it repeated for you?
We don't have to repeat it.
I can repeat
I've seen the trend now. I've seen the trend for years.
What's the trend?
The trend is always making excuses. Doc, we get it. Taking over a team in the middle of the season is hard. It's hard. We get it. Just like getting traded in the middle of the season is hard for a player. We get it. Mm-hmm. But it's always an excuse. It's always throwing your team under the bus. They lose to Memphis. Oh, it's his players' fault. Memphis was playing G League guys and two-way guys. And then you look at his quotes over the weekend. Now he wants to take credit for the James Harden trade to the Clippers working out. He wants credit for that. There's never accountability with that guy. Well, there's never accountability.
Well, let me say a couple of things.
First off, I don't feel responsible to take up for my dad. He's a grown man. He could do his own thing. But in this regard, I just simply don't agree with it. For someone who's not accountable, he seems to always be held responsible, considering he's the guy that's always fired when things don't go right. He got fired in the bubble for a 3-1 lead versus the Denver Nuggets, which in half his team didn't want to be there. They had players saying that their mind wasn't there. He had guys leave. That happened. Then he gets fired for losing to a team that was favored over him, which was the Celtics last year. It seems like he's always responsible. It's just strange coming from JJ. And I have love for JJ. You're my dookie. You know that. You're my bro. I love you. It's just your best years were with the Clippers. I don't think he saved your career. I appreciate you, Pat. But I don't think it – this just seems a little bit weird. They're 3-7. Dame has missed most of those games. Middleton's missed a lot of those games. They haven't even had their full team yet. We'll see what happens. The pressure is there. They do have to perform. But in terms of accountability, like, what are we doing here? Your best years in the NBA were when you played for him in the Clippers. Let's not forget that. I don't know if there's, frustration there or there's tension there between you. I know a lot of times we had to sit you towards the end of the game due to defensive reasons. But you had your best years as a starter there, especially our whole system was drafted around you because you're a shooter. You're not a guy who could put the ball on the floor. You were a strictly shoot guy. You're not like Klay Thompson or Steph who could put the ball on the floor. You were a guy who could catch and shoot. And you did it at a high level. Hell of a career, by the way. Big fan. But your best years were under him. It's just very ironic and kind of weird that you have this energy towards him in terms of him never, ever being accountable, considering he's always been responsible. That would be my response.
Okay, so as I continue to talk, I'm going to flash what Pat, Bev, and JJ Redick was saying to each other after these comments came out earlier in the day. Now, Austin Rivers did what he had to do. He had to protect home, right? Someone's talking about your father in the same industry that's been responsible for you getting multiple contracts. You gotta protect that, right? It's the man that showed you everything. You gotta defend his legacy and everything because his legacy points to you in different types of ways. So, yeah, I get it. I also get JJ Redick's perspective from being in the locker room with this guy as a coach in LA, blowing the 3-1 lead, different things like that, not seeing the adjustments. And JJ Redick has a sharp basketball mind. You could tell on his podcast how he analyzed the game and how he breaks it down, that he knows kind of what he's talking about. Whether he's right or wrong, you could tell that he's very astute on his observations. So we listen to JJ Redick, man, right there. Him and Austin Rivers, the Duke brotherhood. Now, as far as Duke, JJ Redick is a king at Duke. He's one of the kings of Duke. Austin can't compare in Duke lore to JJ Redick, nor can he compare NBA career-wise. You know, JJ had a very solid career, one of the better shooters in the game. But as far as like his game, man, JJ is such an amazing analyst. Austin Rivers is doing a good job. Now, what I will say is Doc Rivers has to win because these type of things exist because he's blown so many 3-1 leads. I think if he wins, this goes away. And as far as, you know, that first clip I played, he was talking about them firing Adrian Griffin and bringing him in. He has to take a team that was 30-13. You only fire a new head coach that is this 30-13 if you're telling your fan base or you're telling NBA fans that you're bringing in a coach that's going to get you over the hump. So he has added pressure there because they were already doing good. They were doing good enough to get sent home in the first round, second round. They had that coach, they felt like, in their mind. But bringing in Doc Rivers, the message that was sent, whether it's fair to him or not, is that we were bringing in the guy that's going to get us over the hump. And that's what everybody has in their mind. Now, losing to Boston in 7, that wouldn't be overly frowned upon. But going out there and losing to Miami Heat, again, you know, losing to the Miami Heat, if they get like a play-in or they get the 8th seed or whatever seed that would match up with Milwaukee right now, so that'd be like 7 or 6. You know, if they get that seed and they send Milwaukee home, oh, this is a failure. And I don't know how much longer. I don't know if they'll even retain Doc past this season. So it's a lot of pressure on him, man. And so is he going to change that narrative around and at least buy himself enough time to keep the job going in the next year? Again, if they play Boston in the conference finals and they lose in 7 in a 1-point game or something like that, I don't think you'll see Doc Rivers go nowhere during the offseason. But if they lose to like a Miami in the first round or something like that, it's a wrap. They not bringing him back. You know what I'm saying? They're not bringing him back. So that's my thoughts on it, man. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time. Peace.